if you have a passion that according to you is a natural passion, you just like to cook, you like sewing, you, if it's a man, you are good with, woodworks, you're good with, changing tires, a bit of mechanics here and there. Whatever it is that you have a passion in, you can grow it into a side hustle.
Definitely.
But with caution though, don't rush for profitability.
Yes.
For side hustles. You may not achieve as much as you want, because that's why we're calling it a side hustle. Remember, when you start, it's not the main thing.
Yes.
You've already got maybe a job or jobs, but now this is something else that you're doing on the side. That's why it's a side hustle. On the side, but with a desire for it to grow. And she has described the process of growing a side hustle. One, by doing it, first and foremost, a little at a time. Hence the scripture we started with.
Yeah.
Do not despise the day of humble beginnings. When you have started, allow other people to input into your product, or service, whatever it is that your side hustle comprises. You have to allow for people to say it. You were fortunate that they told you that the food was nice.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there are other people, when you started, the food may not have even been that nice. But because you were zealous, you stuck the guns and you kept on keeping on. And today, you are probably doing a much better job than when you started.
Yeah.
And I want us to take these lessons seriously, because this is what people were phoning me for, to say, okay, so what are people doing? Today we're talking about what Theo has been doing, which comprises thus far of cooking, of baking, hosting.
Offering lessons. I offer cooking and baking lessons as well.
So all these are growth stages.
Yes, they came. Actually, let me walk you through the stages.
Okay.
So I started with catering.
Yes.
And then baking was just those scones.
Okay, so it was catering first.
Yes.
Okay.
Then baking the scones, putting stuff in my husband's lunchbox. And then when my children were also going to school, they would come and say, people were swarming around me for my lunchbox because it would be interesting, the stuff that's in there. Then I went for the baking lessons and I started doing baking and catering together.
Okay.
After some time, I then bought my own equipment. I think by the end of 2017, I had enough equipment not to even hire anything anymore.
Okay.
That's another avenue that also provides resources.
Okay.
Do you know that there are hustles which you can do 100% with nothing of your own because you hire from others?
Yes.
So even within the baking chain or the catering chain, there are companies where they don't cook food. All they do is they hire out the plates, the forks, the knives.
Yes.
So there is no reason why somebody cannot start, because you can hire decor person and then you tell them also put the plates and everything. I'll just bring the food. You can even hire the chefing dishes. You can hire the pots to cook in. Do you know that? I know people who hire out migoti for cooking, serving spoons. So everything 100% you can actually hire.
That's good.
So I then had my own equipment and I started also hiring out. So there are weekends where I'm not using them. Someone says, we have a funeral, we need 200 plates, we need chefing dishes. I'm seated at home, that's passive income.
Yes.
They come, they collect the stuff, they leave a refundable security deposit, they take the stuff. When they come back, if anything is broken or missing, we subtract from the deposit and that's it. Then I started being confident enough to offer lessons. And I did start with people who knew me, friends and family. It was safer that way before even advertising. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm then continuing to be adventurous with food. I then started the snacks, pastries, I think in 2018. I had been cooking proper meals, your rice and your sadza and stews. But now I then started doing the samosas, the spring rolls, the wraps. That's another angle.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the proper food catering, I have the snacks, I have the baking, and baking is also branched. I also do desserts.
Okay.
There are circles where I'm famous for my trifle.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the trifle is so easy.
Yes.
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 So I do desserts.
But I've never,
And then I also do very lovely salads. I think that's the first example I gave you.
Yes.
Because I then, we will not say names, but there is a food and vegetable shop where they have a salad bar.
Yeah.
I always order. If I see anything new, then I dissect it. This is an apple. This is celery. Red, green, yellow pepper. this is red onion. Then the dressing I taste, it tastes like mayonnaise and something. I'm actually teaching myself and learning. Then I go and reproduce it. So I've had jobs where another person is doing the catering, the meats, the starches, everything. I just waltz in with my 8 bowls of salads.
Okay.
Because someone says, as much as I love their cooking, but I want your salads.
Okay.
Yes. So all those different avenues then are different revenues streams.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then you added training.
Yes.
That you're
So
actually...
do you know then how I added the training? That's another revenue stream. There are places where I go and minister, especially where there are women,
Yes.
and talk about business. As a business person, how do I encourage? Which is actually what we're doing now.
Yes.
Yes. So I'll go into communities. I've been to Kwadzana, Budiriro. There are people there who say, come and teach us how to make samosas. Come and teach us how to start this. Even if people are talking about poultry, yes, I go and explain how I started, and there are principles you take, whether it's catering, someone can apply to carpentry, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's another angle where I'll then go. The other time I went to ladies who were in Kwadzana, and I thought I was actually wrong. I judged them wrongly, and I thought they would not be able to afford anything. So I was emphasizing, I have enough fuel, don't worry about money and all. But they gave me $50.
There you
and
go.
they said, we all collected it. We appreciate the value of what
Wow.
you've taught us.
Wow.
So training and speaking on business, on cooking, even the lessons, it's an additional avenue.
Very, very interesting. So, income. How far are you willing to go?
Very far, very far. I'm very
Okay.
open and vulnerable. I want people to learn from me. I generally do not separate. I meticulously keep records of everything that brings me income.
Okay.
So I actually wish I had brought you my my diary. The diary that I use, I record everything I do,
Okay.
which gives me money. So most of my income comes from training.
Okay.
Yes, on
Now.
financial literacy, yes.
Okay.
But after that, if we take that out, because remember we're talking side hustles,
Yes.
so we can take out that training because that's my career progression.
Yes.
When we focus only on side hustles, catering pays the most. Why? Today I gave someone a quotation to cook for 150 people, of which $20 per person, that's $3,000. From the $3,000, maybe my profit would be $800 to $1,000.
Okay.
So catering seems to be profitable in the sense that from one job,
Yes.
you can earn within a day. You
Yes.
can remain in the evening after finishing everything. You've paid the team quite well. You can remain with 800, 1.2. I think the best job I ever did was during the COVID. There was a funeral and the person died overseas, and so it took a bit of days for the body to come. But those were the days where we were strictly under not more than 30 people at a funeral. So they didn't want anyone to cook and all. They asked me to deliver a series of 7 meals, like your supper, breakfast, supper, breakfast, supper, until the burial day. I made a profit of 2.5 from that job.
Yes.
So that's my to date. And guess what? You may clap hands for me. I relate with people who make $14,000, $15,000 profit in one day.
Wow.
Which is what I would hope to make in a month. They can make it in a day.
Wow.
Because they are at the stage where it's also important for me to explain this. It's specific to catering, but it can be applied anywhere. So I do, let's look at one specific meal: 2 starches, 2 meats, 2 vegetables or salads, 2 desserts, and 2 beverages. I'm likely to charge between $10 and $15.
Okay.
I relate with friends who charge $35 for the same meal.
Wow.
Yes,
And
they've
they have
grown
a-
that. All
they
the
have a
clientele
clientele
is
for
there.
it.
And guess what? They are not so desperate for jobs. They would rather do one job for the weekend.
Yeah.
Myself, I build my capacity. There are times where I have 3 teams. I'm going with one team, another team is going there, another team is going there, because we charge at that level. But when you're doing $35, $40 meals, you can afford to just take one job and close off everyone else. When we get to Christmas, it's our most lucrative as caterers. So I might have 5, 6, 7 small jobs for Christmas Day. That friend of mine will have one, and she's charging a flat fee of $40.
Wow, per
Yes,
plate.
per plate. And then she'll tell you I have capacity for 100 plates. Once I reach 100, I'm not taking any more. You can do the math. That's a lot of money. So that's the same principle that we could use even anyone selling clothes. There are people who know I target dollar.
Yeah.
And I push volumes.
Yes.
There's someone with a boutique where they make one sale per day.
Yeah.
Because their clothes are $300, $400.
Yes.
Yes. And even if they sell 5-6 dresses in a week, that person who's selling dollar may not achieve such sales. Yes, they may have higher overheads because if you're buying $400 dress, it has to be trendy and upmarket.
Yes, yes.
But why I'm expressing that is I wish sometimes people would understand that every hustle or business has a life cycle.
Okay.
We can't skip some stages.
Okay.
Yes. So today I might seem like I'm doing well because I'm serving so many and doing so much. I'm at that stage where I'm now very fussy about the jobs I take.
Okay.
Yes, I tend to just say, sorry, we are fully booked this weekend, we are unavailable. I'm no longer desperate for everyone who comes to take their job.
Okay.
Yes. But there was a time where I was so desperate for work that I
Yes.
would even take for free. Someone tells me, no, I can't afford that price, but because I want my taste to go out, I know I'm doing this thing and I'm not earning any profit from it. At least I'm breaking even. So people need to appreciate and learn for whatever job business you're doing. What is the average life cycle? How long will it take me before I make my first profit? So the last student that I had, I took her for lessons, I think in September. And so far, I asked her to submit in Excel, showing how many cakes she's done. Just judging from the pictures she gave me, I think she's done more than 20 cakes so far on her own without me.
Wow.
And I was asking how much are you charging? Then she would say, this one was for free, this one $20, this one was my young sister and all. But at this stage, I actually know that when she gives me the Excel, the minimum is she has broken even.
Okay.
So I already have experience with her and others before. I can tell someone wanting baking lessons that be willing to do the first 15 cakes without making any real profit.
Okay.
Some of the money, even if you're paid, is going towards buying
Yes,
the equipment.
utensils, yes.
Some of it is you bringing to your church ladies a platter of pieces of cake so that they taste. But you can't make any meaningful profit before you've done your 16th, 17th cake. That's what I would say from experience.
That's good. That's good. So your cycle, you said every business has a cycle.
Yes.
I'm just drawing a circle in the air. So what starts? What's number one in that cycle?
Now it depends on the business. Let's talk about agriculture. Maybe agriculture, what starts is, do you have the piece of land? You can't just start saying, I love peppers. I want to start selling peppers. Where do you start from? But with catering or baking, as long as the will is there, like I said, you can hire someone's kitchen. But I think it's also true. You can lease land from someone.
Yes, you can.
If we're my relative, I can come and say, please, can you give me a patch?
Yes.
And give me just a year. I won't have anything to pay for it, but allow me to make a name for myself and try growing some of, even herbs. I actually wish I had somebody who could supply me mint, thyme, parsley, and I've heard that it doesn't even need maybe
Lots
this
of land.
table they could actually be sufficient for you to do your mint and stuff. So I wish, rather than complain, if you are outward looking, I believe there is always someone who's willing to give you a start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you have started, it is followed by learning.
Yes. So I would think, let me use baking because I'm used to it. I would say the passion, have the desire for it. Okay, a big mistake people make is they do a side hustle for survival.
Okay.
We do need survival, we do need the money. But out of the 20 things that are there, which one excites me the most? Catering is hard work.
I know.
It's back-breaking
I know. I'm a
work.
mother and a cook in this house.
If I could, I would actually show you that I have open blisters under my feet from standing too long.
Wow.
I have to be fussy about shoes. Where I used to buy $10 shoes, I have to buy a pair that's $50 or $75 because I'm going to stand in it for 20 hours.
Yes.
So it has to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's really hard work, and there are times where I wish I could just sleep. The longest I ever took was in an 84-hour period. I slept for 2 hours.
Wow.
So that means I had all-nighters, and the team wakes up. I always let them sleep, and they wake up. That time I was baking 400 cupcakes one of the nights. So overnight I'm doing 400 cupcakes. They wake up, the table is full, they are done, then we pack together and stuff. Then another night. So I measured in an 84-hour period, I'd only slept 2 hours. I get to that stage where I start to feel pins and needles in my eyes.
Wow.
I will rub it thinking there's something, and then I remember I need to close my eyes. They've been open for too long.
Wow.
So you can only do that. It's the passion that carries you. Yes. If you're not passionate about it, that's why people quickly give up.
Okay.
So the passion first, then I find a way of starting through someone, through hiring another kitchen, through attaching. Another way I help people to start off their businesses is I have many people who I'll say, when I do, for example, a job for 100 people, I work with 5 people. If you're willing to come, I'll give you bus fare, but I won't pay you because you want to learn.
Yes.
So it's a free lesson.
Okay.
Catering is not a theoretical kind of. You learn on the job as we go. So I will have, out of these 5 people, I know I'm training 2 to start their own. And it actually gives me a sense of fulfillment. I do have a whole lot of people that are now standing on their own 2 feet, but they started in my kitchen. They started interning with me. So on average, for a day's cooking, we pay $30.
Okay.
I know some will pay $15, even $10 or $20, but even from my catering friends, the average is about $30.
Okay.
So maybe I'll budget $10 for that person to cover their transport and just a little bit more. But then they come 2-3 times, we do lessons together, and then the 3rd or 4th time they come, we always have an advance party going.
Okay.
They'll go with the chefing dishes, the plates, set up everything.
Yes.
I send them forward so that they learn how to set up food, how to do the presentation. We then follow with the rest of the team with the food. I'll put them on vantage points where they learn a lot. Then I tell them, now go and get a job. Don't even be afraid. I'll give you all the tips. I'll prepare the bill of quantities for you. I'll do this and that. So you help somebody like that 2, 3, 4, 5 times, then they can stand on their own.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we are still doing the cycle. So there's that learning period and leveraging of other people who've gone ahead of you.
Yes.
And then the most crucial period, I believe, is the voluntary service.
Okay.
Where I then keep an ear open. Ku family, kwafiwa. I'm not the last person to go.
Okay.
I quickly show up and I greet people. I cry for 2 minutes. I go to the back where they are cooking.
Okay.
So as I cook, as people see, I'm not sure if you remember, but there's one of our pastors who passed away in Faith Ministries, and BCC was tasked with heading the catering. I think the service was at Mbare. And you gave me, you are the one who gave me that responsibility. I actually remember you called me and said, Theo, I've told some people here that you can organize this funeral. Don't let me down. So I remember going there, and there were lots of people. If I'm not mistaken, we were supposed to cook for 1,000.
There were lots of
Yes.
people.
So when I'm doing that, it's for free. I don't say this is a free service. I only offer half of my, I put half.
Service.
No, I go all in as if I'm being paid.
Yeah.
Guess what? Out of the 1,000 plates we've served, there are 5, 10, 20 people who say, who cooked that funeral? Please give me her number.
Yes.
And then they give me a paid job.
Okay.
Yes. So the point is to get your food out. What does it profit anyone for me to be so fully loaded with all these cooking skills, but you never taste the food, you never eat it?
Yeah.
So many people think it's an expense. It's not an expense.
Okay.
It's part of marketing. It's part of advertising. If a huge company puts a billboard for 3 months that they are paying thousands and thousands for to advertise their cooking oil or their toothpaste or their bread, I can't put a billboard anywhere. I cannot afford it. So my billboard is bringing a platter to your house. When I have a relative with a baby shower and it starts at 2, I don't go at 2.
Okay.
Go at 11 and say, I thought I should come early and help. Please do that potato salad. You do it so well that as people eat, they'll say, Diana, eat a potato salad. You're getting your name out.
Wow.
Yeah, so that season, I call it the incubation season, where you're making mistakes, where you're correcting yourself in the safety net of offering free service.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow. Wow. So, because I know people will ask me, I know kitchen sink family members, they will say, okay, what have you done with these incomes, the side hustle income? That is really, really significant, and that you can share with people. When I was talking about it, if you watched the last 2 videos, I said I bought a piece of land. I didn't buy it in total. I was able to raise the deposit. In the end, I was able to pay 3/4 of that, the value of that piece of land from my income. The final clearing of it, my husband was so impressed. We then used family money to clear that, for that piece of land. In your opinion, so that we inspire someone, what has Theo done, something of value from this side hustle?
This side hustle.
Yes.
So it's quite significant that you're asking me this question now, and I'm very happy to be open and vulnerable. This year, 2024, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I clock 5 years as a divorcee.
Yes.
I have 4 children.
Yes.
When my ex-husband moved out, he left us in a 4-bedroomed house. He does cover the rent, but I meet everything else.
Okay.
He doesn't buy us groceries or anything. I take care of the 4 children. When I need help and ask, he provides.
Okay.
But generally, I take care of the home. And one of the things that shocked me was how much money goes into home maintenance.
Yes.
The sink, you need to call a plumber.
Yes.
There's a man who comes and maintains our yard outside. I have 2 helpers in the home because also of the catering.
Yes.
And we have a tank where I live. There are water problems. We pay $55 per week for 5,000 liters to be delivered. There was a time when our electricity problems were an issue. We didn't have a transformer for months. I couldn't do a proper solar system, but I bought enough lights, and each light is on average $50-$60.
Okay.
That's a lot. So I'm sharing this to show you that there is quite a lot of expense that goes into maintaining a home with 4 children, 2 helpers, and a mom. So we are 7. And then already the house is too big. You can't ignore parts of it and not have them cleaned.
Right.
So all that, I do it independently, 100% from the hustles. And then if we had done this in my own home, in my own kitchen, I would have taken you around. We have a dining room table that I bought, and I can even tell you the job. From one job, I paid $600 and bought this. There's a bank that once ordered snacks from me for 80 people, and among the guests, there was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance. So they said, we want top-notch quality foods. When the payment got into my account, after paying off all the ingredients, the money bought me a fridge.
Wow.
So I'll actually look at it and I call it by the name of let's say the bank was called Ranga Bank.
Yes.
I said that's my Ranga fridge. Because in one job, in one day,
yes,
I went to a supermarket, a major retailer in Eastleigh, and I bought the fridge.
Well done.
So there are many things I can point at. And I also believe that whilst I would love to, it's actually part of my vision board, that now I've taken care of the smaller issues. 5 years later, I'm now able to balance. I know how much I need per month. The next step is I want to buy my own house, and I know I'll do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the car I'm driving now, yes, I can even tell you the value.
Okay.
It's a Honda Fit hybrid. I bought it for $9,000, 100% from catering, baking, and training. No one has given me a cent towards it, but they gave me terms, and I was paying on average $1,000 per month. One of the months I paid 2.5, but all the other months $1,000. And whilst I'm taking care of the kids, the home, my own personal expenses, I still have an extra $1,000 to pay for that. So I tell people who come for lessons that baking pays, catering pays, and just be willing to put in your whole heart into it. There are people who order from me just for my passion.
Okay.
I've had people who say, I saw you serving at this event, but I didn't manage to eat your food. But I saw how you were running around and organizing things. And I think you know what you're doing. So please do this job for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one side hustle, obviously. I will have to look for a man to share about their own side hustle, or even other women with different types of side hustles. But bottom line, it's paying in a difficult economy.
Yes.
You are making sure that life is good at home. The home is well maintained. You even bought a car. Guys, I was telling you, we can do these things.
Definitely.
Where I bought land, she has a car, and land is coming. I believe it.
In Jesus'
I
name.
believe it.
Amen.
Therefore, I speak.
I
It is
receive.
going to happen. Yes.
Amen.
And like she said, we met 10 years ago, and I've seen her grow from strength, from actually tears of, I need this, I
Yes.
need that, I need this, to commitment, serious commitment to the side hustle, to the point of having blisters. You know, sometimes as people, we don't want to put in the hard work. You want the money, you want the material things to buy from that. But when you put in, the work wholeheartedly,
Yes.
it will pay off.
Definitely.
It will pay off. Theo, we can go on
Yeah.
and on and on talking. But I want to say thank you so, so much, not just for coming to the kitchen sink, kitchen discussion issues, but even for your own life. Even for your own life. Let me just brag, guys. Let me brag about this girl. In conclusion, these 4 children that she's talking about, they're my grandchildren. They are geniuses. These 4 children. I'm telling you the truth. The one has just cleared university to the point that the university, before her results came, they offered her a job. And now she's doing her master's while she's working at that university. Where does that happen except for my grandchildren? We can do it. We can do it. We can do side hustles. Today we talked about baking, about catering. Theo has another side hustle in training. We couldn't bring all of them at the same time. But before we go back to Theo with her training side hustle, we might find somebody else. If I don't find anyone else, we will bring her back and we will talk some more about the training side hustle. We can do this thing. Training is not necessarily a side hustle. That's been your career
That's
path.
my career, yeah. I was
Yes.
always in HR in the
Yes,
bank.
yes. But never despise the day of humble beginning.
Amen.
And don't be too desperate that you shortchange quality of your service, of your product. Make sure when you get the opportunity to do anything, do it well. Do it well.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's have questions. If you have questions to me, for Theo, we are in each other's space so much. We can answer those questions together. But I want to say thank you so much, Kitchen Sink family members. I see the growth. I see the effort in pushing ourselves. Please, let's keep doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.